Need just a tap or two. Always try to keep your crosses really straight as you're stringing, and keep your crosses straight in the frame while they're being tensioned by the tension head. Don't allow a bunch of curved strings to be in your string bed and think at the end you'll go back and straighten them all out, because the slack is trapped in the string bed at that point. You can straighten the strings, but it won't help anything with the tension. So the straighter your crosses, the better your tension, the better your tension maintenance, the less you'll have to move the crosses when you're finished. You just get an overall better product at the end of the racket, the less you have to move your crosses. So I'm just barely nudging these. Even before I started moving them, if I showed you on camera, you can't even really see any curves in there. Probably not on the camera. I can barely see the tiniest little curvature. So I'm probably overly critical in making sure everything is absolutely perfect. So because wherever the strings start out, they're going to have memory, and they're going to develop little dents in the strings and eventually notches in the strings. So if you start out with a nice tight, or I should say parallel grid, if everything's nice and parallel to begin with, even as the strings wear in, they'll remain parallel. You won't have, you know, strings all wonky going in all different directions. I always tell people, when you start playing with a racket, after I give it back to you, take the time to straighten your string. If your strings get out of alignment, straighten them before you continue playing. You know, in between points, if you notice something's out of alignment, put it back in line, so that the string's memory is to reside there and not elsewhere. And that's it. All of our straightening is done. So that was 17 gauge gut mains at 58 pounds with 10% pre-stretch, and 18 gauge co-poly crosses at only 50 pounds. So hope you enjoyed that. Thanks.